Imagine this, 15 long years. 15 years of silence, of being erased from my own family's life. Then, one quiet Sunday morning, they show up on my doorstep, standing right outside the $50 million mansion I built with my bare hands. The audacity, the sheer, stomach-churning audacity. My name is Olivia, and at 38, I'd built a tech empire from nothing, living in a sprawling Atherton estate. From my security camera, I saw them. My father, my mother, my brother Philip, my sister Sophia, and her kids. The family who'd tossed me aside like yesterday's trash, now standing on my manicured lawn, faces a mix of awe and naked desperation. They were finally here, but not for the reasons they thought. Growing up in a seemingly picture-perfect Chicago home, I was the youngest, the afterthought. My brother, Philip, was the golden boy, athletic, brilliant, charming. My sister, Sophia, the family beauty, talented, popular. And then there was me. My accomplishments were met with a shrug, while theirs brought celebrations. That's what we expect, my mother would say about my straight A's, while Philip's same grades earned him a party. My father, who never missed Philip's football games, blew off my state science fair. Science isn't really a spectator sport, Olivia, he'd dismiss, only for me to later find out he rescheduled an important meeting for Philip's practice game. My 10th birthday solidified my place. My party was cancelled, replaced by Philip's championship game. I sat in the bleachers, forgotten, while my parents cheered and Sophia socialized. No cake, no presents, just leftover pizza from Philip's victory celebration, which I ate alone in my room, tears silently soaking my plate. Sophia, with her cruel whispers and damaged borrowed items, perfected psychological torment. Philip, meanwhile, was just indifferent, too busy with his own world to notice the quiet suffering of his little sister. The only light was my grandma Eleanor, my mother's mother. She saw me. "You have a special spark, Olivia," she'd say. "One day, the world will see what I see in you." She brought me books, attended my science fairs, beamed with pride. With her, I didn't have to fight for love, it was freely given. This external validation only highlighted the void at home. "Book smarts will only get you so far," my father would scoff at my report card. I graduated high school, accepted into Yale and Stanford, only for my parents to comment on the cost and distance. It hurt, but it also hardened me. I was an obligation, not a beloved daughter. My heart shattered again, but my resolve solidified. I vowed to build a life where I would be valued. I just didn't know the true, gut-wrenching betrayal was still lurking around the corner. The day the world ripped open for me was when I was 23. I'd just graduated Stanford with honors, landing a job in San Francisco. I finally felt like I was earning their respect. Then Grandma Eleanor died. My heart was shattered. At her funeral, I sat alone, while my family huddled together, ignoring me. Then came the will reading. Most assets went as expected. Then, the lawyer read, "To my beloved granddaughter, Olivia, I leave my grandmother's ruby ring and the sum of $5,000. You are always special to me, and I know you will make me proud." My mother scoffed. $5,000 and her old ring? That's it. My father's face turned an alarming shade of red. "This is outrageous. Eleanor always did favor Olivia for some reason." "For some reason," I echoed, finally finding my voice. Maybe because she was the only one who ever showed me kindness in this family. That's when the dam broke. Years of resentment, of feeling unseen, exploded. "Kindness," my father roared. "We took you in when no one else would. We gave you a home, an education." Took me in? What was he talking about? My mother shot him a warning look, but it was too late. "You're not even our daughter," he spat. "You were adopted. Your mother, Elaine's college roommate, died in a car accident. No father, no family. We took you in out of the goodness of our hearts." The room spun. Adopted. Not real. I looked at my mother, silently pleading for her to deny it. She just sighed. "We were going to tell you, but it never seemed like the right time." 23 years. Never the right time. All those years of feeling like I didn't belong, suddenly, terribly, made sense. So, I've been living a lie my entire life. I whispered. Does everyone know except me? Most of the family knows, Sophia shrugged. It wasn't exactly a secret. We just didn't talk about it. Not a secret to anyone except me. I felt sick. Then, Philip chimed in. Why did Grandma Eleanor leave the ring to Olivia anyway? It should stay with blood family. Blood family. Those words cut deeper than any knife. The lawyer, uncomfortable, responded. Mrs. Eleanor specifically mentioned that Olivia should have the ring because, in her words, true family is about love, not blood. My father's face turned purple. That old woman always tried to undermine our parenting, filling Olivia's head with nonsense, making her think she was special when we were trying to raise her to be realistic about her place in the world. My place. My voice rose. And what exactly is my place in this family? You should be grateful we took you in at all. Sophia interjected. You had privileges most orphans could only dream of. I finally saw them for who they truly were. Privileges like being reminded constantly that I wasn't as good as you or Philip. Like having my birthdays forgotten, my achievements ignored. This is exactly why we never told you, my mother huffed. We knew you'd react emotionally instead of rationally. Finding out my entire life has been a lie seems like a reasonable thing to be emotional about. I retorted. My father stood, towering. That's enough. If you can't show some gratitude, then perhaps you should leave. I looked around. No one came to my defense. Not even Philip. In that moment, my decision was made. Fine, I said, gathering my purse. I will go. But first, tell me one thing. Was anything real? Did you ever love me at all? Or was I just a charity case you regretted taking on? The silence was my answer. I walked out, and I never looked back. After that day, the exclusion became official. No Thanksgiving, no Christmas. Just social media photos of complete family gatherings and everyone I love in one place. Pointed reminders that everyone didn't include me. There were cold, formal emails from my father, telling me not to contact them. The ultimate sting came with pictures of Philip's wedding, then Sophia's baby shower. Moments I should have been part of, erased. But with Grandma Eleanor's $5,000 and her ruby ring, I made a vow. I would build a life so successful that would one day regret throwing me away. With just $5,000 and a ruby ring, which I swore I'd never sell, I landed in San Francisco. My apartment was tiny, shared, a stark contrast to my childhood home. My first job, tech support, barely enough to cover rent. But I attacked it with ferocity. After my shift, I'd spend hours teaching myself coding, enrolled in free online courses, built projects. Sleep was a luxury. Ramen and peanut butter were my meals. Every dollar saved, every hour worked, was an investment in my freedom, a defiant middle finger to the family who'd rejected me. Then, I met Professor Diana Chen at a cybersecurity workshop. She saw my spark, just like Grandma Eleanor. She mentored me, pushed me, and thanks to her, I landed at a hackathon that changed everything. My concept for behavioral data protection was revolutionary, but turning it into a product required funding. 27 investors rejected me. Each no echoed the rejections from my family, but this time, I wouldn't accept it. I took a second job bartending, saving drinks to the very entrepreneurs I longed to be. Until one night, I met Travis. He became my angel investor, giving me $200,000 to build my dream. The development was brutal. 16-hour days, 7 days a week. Loneliness was my constant companion. There were nights I cried myself to sleep, holding Grandma Eleanor's ring, questioning everything. Was I a fool? But each morning, I got up. I coded. I pushed. And after 8 months, I had a working prototype. Secure Now was born. And with it, the first brick in the empire that would make them regret everything. By the way, if you're still with me, if my story has resonated even a little, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what happens next, or the unbelievable stories still to come. Secure Now exploded. Our behavioral authentication system became a game changer. Within months, we had Fortune 500 licensing agreements. My team grew from 3 to over 100 in 2 years. I wasn't just building a company. I was building the family I'd never had, a culture of respect and recognition, where no one felt invisible. Diana, my mentor, became my friend, watching me create something special. Our second product pushed our valuation past $100 million. I moved into a luxury condo, traded thrift store clothes for designer wear, my bus pass for a Tesla. Yet, the emptiness remained. On Secure Now's 5th anniversary, we secured a $200 million contract. Champagne flowed, bonuses were announced. But when the party ended, I went home, alone. Scrolling through social media, there was Sophia's post, annual Sullivan family tradition. So blessed to have everyone together. Everyone except me. That night, I decided, if I couldn't have the family I was born into, I'd build a life so full, their absence wouldn't matter. I found my sanctuary in Atherton, a sprawling $15 million estate. I poured my soul into renovating it. A formal dining room became a state-of-the-art office. A wing transformed into a library, fulfilling a childhood dream. The crown jewel, an English garden, with a quiet bench dedicated to Grandma Eleanor. As Secure Now grew to 500 employees, I balanced work with purpose. I joined charity boards, established scholarship funds, mentored young women. Slowly, I built a family of choice. Travis, Diana, Jordan, my executive team. People who trusted me, respected me. They filled some of the void, but sometimes, late at night, I'd still look at old photos, wondering why I was never enough. 10 years after founding Secure Now, I took the company public. Billionaire status, magazine covers. Still, no call from them. Their silence was both a relief and a persistent ache. On the 15th anniversary of that dreadful day I was cast out, I hosted a charity gala at my mansion, raising $10 million for foster care. I stood before Silicon Valley elites, reflecting on my journey. From $5,000 and a ruby ring to one of tech's most powerful women. The mansion, the respect, the impact, all testaments to what I'd achieved because they discarded me. Yet, a small, wounded part of me still wondered, why was I never enough? The answer was about to arrive. The very next day, my tranquility was shattered. My security system chimed. I grabbed my tablet. What I saw made my coffee cup slip from my fingers, shattering on the stone terrace. There they were, all of them. My father, Walter, now stooped and gray. My mother, Elaine, older, but still with that same pearl necklace. Philip, heavier now. And Sophia, still perfectly coiffed, with 2 children clutching her hands. 15 years of silence. 15 years of pretending I didn't exist. And now, they stood at the gate of the life I'd built without them. My first instinct was to let them rot. But curiosity, a dark, potent curiosity, won out. What could they possibly want? With trembling hands, I pressed the intercom. Can I help you? My voice, a perfect mask of neutrality. Olivia, it's Mom and Dad. My mother's voice crackled. And Philip and Sophia. We were hoping we could talk to you. Talk. After 15 years, I should have told them to leave. But some buried part of me, that little girl who'd always yearned for their approval, clicked the button. The gate swung open. I threw on jeans, a simple blouse, ran a brush through my hair. No effort, but not disheveled. When the doorbell rang, I opened it, feigning mild interest. They stood there, looking up at the grand facade of my home with poorly concealed awe. Olivia, you look wonderful. My mother's arms reached, but I sidestepped the hug. Thank you, I said, cool as ice. This is unexpected. My father cleared his throat. We've been trying to find the right time. When we saw the article about your charity gala in the Wall Street Journal, we thought it might be time to reconnect. The Wall Street Journal, of course, not because they missed me, but because they saw my wealth, my power, in a national publication. Please, come in, I said, hospitality on autopilot. I led them through the marble foyer into the living room, with its sweeping views. Philip whistled. Quite a home. Thank you. I offered coffee, using the excuse to escape to the kitchen, breathing deep. I'd fantasized this moment 1,000 times, but I felt utterly exposed. I returned with the coffee, served in my finest porcelain, a petty display of wealth I couldn't resist. Sophia's children, Jack and Emma, explored nervously. "These are my children," she said. I nodded. "They're beautiful." "We've missed you, Olivia," my mother began, tears welling. The performance was almost convincing. "All these years, we've thought about you." "Have you?" My voice was steady, the anger a cold knot in my stomach. "That's interesting, because I haven't received so much as a birthday card in 15 years. We didn't know how to reach out," my father stammered. "You could have tried," I countered. "My email hasn't changed. My company isn't exactly hard to find." "We've been following your career," Philip interjected. "Reading about your success. We're all very proud." "Proud?" The word tasted like ash. "Now you're proud. Not when I graduated. Not when I built my company. Only now, when I have a mansion and $1 billion empire. Now you're proud." The silence was deafening. The children sensed it, huddling closer to Sophia. "Olivia," my father said, clearing his throat. "We didn't just come to reconnect. We also came because, well, we could use your help." And there it was. The real reason. "What kind of help?" I asked, my heart sinking, already knowing. "Financial help," he admitted, a flicker of shame in his eyes. "My company went bankrupt. I lost my job," Philip added, "and I'm going through a divorce. Harold left me," Sophia mumbled. "Lawyer bills are astronomical." I looked at them. The people who'd cast me out when I had nothing, now begging from the woman who had everything. The audacity was breathtaking. "We were thinking," my father continued, "a loan of about $2 million to restart the family business. Something the whole family could be part of." My mother jumped in. "You could be a silent partner, and it would secure your niece and nephew's future." She gestured to the kids, a calculated, desperate move. "Would pay you back, of course, and perhaps some shares in your company. Keep it all in the family." Nausea. They wanted a piece of my company, the one I'd built from nothing. Without them, I see, was all I managed, my mind already formulating a response they'd never forget. I rose from my seat, a strange calm washing over me. "Please, make yourselves comfortable," I said. "The coffee is imported from a small cooperative in Colombia. I visited the farms myself last year." I watched their faces. My father's eyes narrowed, Sophia mentally appraising my decor. I returned with a leather-bound album and my laptop. "Before we discuss any financial arrangements," I said, my voice steady, "I think we should catch up on the past 15 years. After all, we are family, right?" I opened the album. Page after page. Facebook screenshots of Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas celebrations, graduations, weddings. All captioned "Grateful for family, everyone together." "This was 3 months after you told me never to contact you again," I said, pointing to a photo. "I noticed all of you were there." My mother's face drained of color. Sophia squirmed. "Why do you have all these?" she whispered. "Know your enemy." I smiled, a cold, hard smile. "A basic principle of security. You taught me that, Dad. Always know who you're dealing with." Then, my laptop. An email from my father, 12 years old. "Olivia, I must insist you cease any attempts to contact family members. Your mother was very upset by your Christmas card. We have moved on with our lives and expect you to respect our privacy." I looked at him. That was in response to the only Christmas card I ever sent after leaving. A simple card. No requests. No accusations. Just a card. That was your response. He stared at his hands. Then, an email from Sophia, accidentally copied to me 3 years ago. Saw another article about my sister, the tech genius. Mom was going on about it all day, as if being rich makes up for being such a freak. Some people just have all the luck despite being totally socially inept. Sophia's face flushed crimson. "I didn't mean." "Oh, I think you did," I cut her off. "But it's fine. Your opinion of me stopped mattering a long time ago." I closed the laptop and leaned forward, looking each of them in the eye. For 15 years, you live your lives as if I didn't exist. You celebrated holidays, shared milestones, supported each other. That was your choice. I walked to the window, gazing at my garden, at Grandma Eleanor's bench. Now you come here, to the home I built, the life I created, entirely without your help. And you talk about family as if it's something that can be picked up and put down whenever it becomes convenient or profitable. I turned back to them. Let me be very clear. I do not need a family that only wants me when I have something to offer. I do not need parents who only acknowledge me when I'm successful. I do not need siblings who mock me behind my back but come asking for handouts. My father's face was ashen. My mother wept. Philip stayed at the floor. Sophia sat rigid. That said, I continued, my voice softening as I looked at the confused children. I don't believe in punishing children for the sins of their parents. I addressed Jack and Emma directly. I am your Aunt Olivia. We've never met, but that's not your fault. I'd like to get to know you both. Then, back to the adults. I will not be giving you $2 million. I will not be signing over shares of my company. What I will do is establish education funds for Jackson and Emma to ensure they can attend any college they choose. Sophia bristled. We don't need your charity. It's not charity. I cut her off. It's an investment in the only innocent parties in this room. The funds will be managed by my financial team, accessible only for educational expenses. You will have no access to the money. I stood. That's my offer. Take it or leave it. My father stood, his face flushed with that familiar anger. After everything we did for you. And what, exactly, did you do for me? I asked quietly. You did the legal minimum required of parents. And you made sure I knew every day that it was an obligation, not a choice made from love. The moment I was old enough to be cast out, you did exactly that. My mother begged, Olivia, please. We made mistakes. We're sorry. Are you sorry for what you did? I asked, or sorry that I became successful without you? Because those are very different things. She had no answer. I think it's time for you to go, I said gently but firmly. My assistant will contact you regarding the education funds for the children, if you choose to accept them. Otherwise, I wish you all well in your future endeavors. I walked them to the door. As they stepped out, Sophia turned, her expression softer than I'd ever seen it. For what it's worth, she whispered, I really am proud of what you've accomplished. Too little, too late, I thought, but I simply nodded. Take care of your children, Sophia, I replied. They deserve better than what we had. I closed the door on my past. Leaning against it, the tears finally came, not of sadness, but of profound release. I had faced them. I had refused to be manipulated. I was finally, truly, free. I called Diana. My family just left. I choked out. I need a friend right now. Diana arrived. No questions asked. I recounted everything. The audacity is almost impressive, she said, making me laugh. But you stood your ground, Olivia. You offered help to the children without letting the adults manipulate you. That took courage. We sat in the garden, on Grandma Eleanor's bench. You know what the strangest part is? I asked. I fantasized about this moment for years, about them seeing my success and regretting how they treated me. But now it's happened, and it feels empty. Their regret, if they even feel it, doesn't change anything. Diana nodded. Because you've realized their approval was never the prize you thought it was. And she was right. Their inability to love me was their failure, not mine. No amount of success could fix what was broken in them. In the days that followed, a new emotion emerged, liberation. The last lingering hope of a real family was finally laid to rest. And that fantasy, I realized, had been holding me back. A week later, I made a decision that would change countless lives. I established the Eleanor Grace Foundation, named for my grandmother, dedicated to supporting adopted and foster children who'd face rejection. I committed $50 million. My former roommate, Jordan, now a Stanford professor, joined me. I had no idea, she said, moved by my story. It's not pity to let people care about you, Olivia, she told me. It's human connection. Those words resonated deeply. I joined a support group for family estrangement, finding community. Family is not always blood, one woman said. Family is who loves you when you need it most. That simple truth crystallized everything. Looking at the lives I'd touched, the people who'd touched mine, Diana, Travis, my executive team, the children benefiting from my foundation, I realized I'd built a family of choice, one infinitely more nurturing than the one I was born into. 6 months after the confrontation, I hosted a gathering at my estate. Not a gala, just a celebration of connection. My home and gardens filled with laughter. As I sat on Grandma Eleanor's bench, the ruby ring sparkling, I heard her voice. True family is about love, not blood. She was right. Blood ties are just the beginning. Family is built through respect, through choices made day after day to show up for one another. My journey had been driven by a desire to prove my worth. But the true transformation came when I realized my worth was never in question. The family that once defined me by my absence had lost their power. The ruby ring was no longer just a reminder of the one person who truly loved me. It was a symbol of the truth I'd learned. We all have the power to create our own definitions of family, to build connections based on genuine love, not obligation. For anyone out there who's felt that sting of rejection, who's wondered if something's wrong with them because the people who should love them the most have turned away, your worth is not determined by those who fail to see it. You deserve love. You deserve belonging. And you have the power to create a family of the heart that will cherish you exactly as you are. Tell me, have you ever had to create your own family when your biological one let you down? What helped you heal from family rejection? Share your stories in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. Remember, sometimes the most beautiful families are the ones we choose for ourselves.